Pickleball is America's fastest growing sport. With millions of active players today and millions more on the horizon, one thing is clear. This sport is here to stay. Invented in 1965, pickleball combines elements of three sports: tennis, badminton, and ping pong, and is played using paddles, a wiffle ball, and a rectangular court around half of the size of a tennis court. It's a sport that anyone can play, regardless of their athletic background. The rules are simple, and most players are able to hit back and forth within minutes of stepping onto the court. Pickleball can be played recreationally or competitively, promotes both physical and mental health, is extremely social, and can be very addictive. So let's learn more about this great game, presented by SportsEd TV and the Pickleball Clinic. The pickleball court is a rectangular court around half of the size of a tennis court and has two sides. Each side has sidelines, baselines, a center line, and two non-volley zones, commonly known as the kitchen. The center line divides the two service sides, the left service court and the right service court. And now, here are 4 common ways to win a point. Number 1. The ball bounces outside the court sidelines or baseline, which is considered to be out. Number 2. The ball lands in the net. Number 3. The ball bounces twice on the same side. Number 4. A player volleys a ball while standing inside the non-volley zone, or NVZ. Players may step into the non-volley zone and hit the ball, but only if they let it bounce first. Players can also reach in and hit the ball into the air while standing behind the non-volley zone. Hitting the ball into the non-volley zone off of a bounce is called a dink. The dink is one of the most important shots in pickleball, and often the first one that beginners learn. Now, each point begins with a serve. Players may hit the serve by tossing it into the air, or by bouncing it on the ground. The serve must be hit underhand from behind the baseline and land in the diagonal box beyond the non-volley zone. There are 3 rules that govern the service motion. Number 1, the paddle must be swung in a low to high motion. Number 2, the ball must be contacted below the navel. And number 3, the tip of the paddle must be below the player's wrist at the point of contact. Though we won't cover them in this video, some of the other common shots in pickleball include the drop, the drive, and the volley. Each game begins with teams using the 50-50 method to decide who serves or who receives. The teams may differ and choose the side they'd like to start on as well. For example, by flipping a coin or doing rock, paper, scissors. Most rec games are played to 11, though many tournament matches are the best 2 out of 3 to 11, or one game to 15. When a player serves and wins a point, they continue serving until they lose one. Once the serving team loses a point, their partner gets to serve until they lose a point. So, each time a team gets the ball to serve, both players get to serve until they lose. The exception to this rule is the first server of each game, whose partner does not get to serve after they lose. When the serve goes to the other team, known as a side out, the player on the right side is always the first to serve. The only instances in which players switch sides is if the serving team scores a point. The serving team does not alternate sides if they lose a point, and the players on the receiving team never alternate sides. Points can only be scored by the servers, never the receivers. Another rule to know is the two-bounce rule. Before either team is permitted to hit the ball out of the air, the ball must bounce once on each side of the court. So, the serving team must let the return bounce before taking it out of the air. And the returning team can hit balls into the air following their return. This is why, for almost every point, the returning team will rush the net directly after returning the serve. If you'd like to learn more about how to play this incredible sport, visit sportsedtv.com for world-class instructional videos and blog content, and join the Pickleball Revolution at the Pickleball Clinic Facebook group.